Today, you're gonna learn how to price your services as a newbie copywriter, even if you have no experience or you've been struggling to get clients up until this point. So if you have a hard time figuring out how much to charge so that your clients actually accept it, even if you don't have that much experience, then you're gonna love this. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Shaba, and I'm the founder of Game of Conversions, the place where online entrepreneurs learn how to convert casual leads into profitable paying customers. And this also includes freelancers on how to get clients, basically. And since I'm a conversion copywriter myself, and I have been doing this for quite a while now, I want to share a few experience nuggets that I had when I started out, and hopefully this will help you become a high-paid freelance copywriter as well. Now, before we get started, there's something that I want to quickly mention that actually quite a lot of freelancers struggle with. And this thing is called Imposter Syndrome. And I felt it, a lot of my friends felt it, and you're probably also feeling it as well. It's basically a feeling that you're not good enough or you don't deserve this. So if you ask for too much, then you're basically robbing people out of their money. And I want to assure you that this is not the case. Feeling imposter syndrome is totally normal. However, please know that when you're doing copywriting services, you're actually providing a huge value to companies and to your clients. If they have a business that is running at least decency, so they have products that work, there's some sort of demand for their products and services, then just know that your services is going to give them a 10x return on investment. So whenever you think that you might be charging too much for copywriting, think of all the companies who have decent traffic, they have products at various price points, and just a single tweak on their sales page or on their landing page might result on them getting an extra 500 leads or might result in them getting an extra 100 sales. So keep this in mind, because you are a very, very valuable asset in their repertoire. But regardless, you're probably going to undercharge at first, and this is normal. If you're watching this video, that means that you probably don't have that much copywriting or freelancing experience so far. So obviously you need some time to build up your portfolio, to get yourself out there, to gather some authority. So asking a little bit less at the beginning is totally normal, but don't overdo it. And with that out of the way, in order to help you confidently raise your rates and get to a price point where you're paid what you're worth, I'm gonna give you 4 tips that will help you in this. So the first tip that I have for you is that don't price yourself too low. And here's why. In the lower price brackets, you cannot win. Why? Because A, you're going to be competing with people who are really comfortable with working for just a few dollars a day. And B, you're going to attract bottom feeder clients who are the worst ever. So whenever you see a job post, and this is true especially if you work on Upwork, and I know because I also started out on Upwork and I constantly saw all these job posts which were demanding 1,000-word blog articles for $5 basically. Think about the client who wants this type of work. Do you think they will trust you? Do you think they will value your expertise? Do you think that will be a fruitful business relationship? No, it's impossible. These clients are literally bottom feeders. They're looking for the cheapest work possible, and whenever anything goes wrong, they are going to blame you. They're not going to pay you, or they're going to disappear, or they're going to basically expect the world from you but pay nothing from you. So you really owe it to yourself to steer clear of these clients and just skip this entire price bracket. And this is also good because, let's be real here, you want to make money. You want to start copywriting because you've heard that it's a lucrative business. Well, you can definitely do it, but you have to avoid the lowest price bracket, even if you have no experience, okay? Even if you've never done this before, Don't, and I repeat, don't fall in the trap of thinking that because you're new here, then you should charge below market rates. It's not the way. It's not the way. It doesn't mean that you should aim very high, but if you charge below market rates, you're signaling to people that you're new. You're signaling to people that you cannot do this well enough, and they'll exploit you for it. They'll make you feel bad. They won't trust you, and you're gonna have a bad time. So just don't do it. The second tip I have for you, and this is especially true if you're a beginner, is that decide on a few major types of copy that you're going to write, which are in the sweet spot. And what I mean under this is that there are a few types of copy that are inherently more valuable than the others. If you write a sales page, if you write a landing page, if you create a high converting Facebook ad campaign, then that is going to be inherently more valuable to the client, so you can charge more for it because it's directly measurable and a lot hinges on it. But the downside is that you really have to perform in this. So if you're a new copywriter and you create a sales page that doesn't convert, guess what? You've just lost all your credibility with your client, and they're probably never going to hire you again. And you're gonna get some bad rep, a bad review if you're on Upwork, and it's just not a good thing for your confidence as well. So make sure to not aim for these highest margin projects just yet. On the other hand, there are various types of copy that are inherently not so valuable, not because they don't contribute to a business, but because it's hard to directly measure their impact. For example, general blog posts. So if you specialize in writing blog posts, then that's a fine way, by the way, but keep in mind that it's going to be much harder to scale your rates and to command higher prices for these types of content because they are mostly content marketing. You don't need sophisticated sales skills to write a blog post. However, if you're writing a sales page or landing page, you need specialized persuasion psychology. You need to know about UX. You need to know about design. You need to know about wireframing, direct response copywriting, the fundamentals of conversion. So as you can see, the more skills a type of copy needs, the more you can charge for it. But if you're a beginner, obviously you are aiming a little bit too high. So what I recommend is that you aim for the sweet spot and you try to aim for projects such as web copy pages, about pages, general emails, but not drip campaigns or not sophisticated email campaigns, but general one-off emails, stuff like that, because these are not the easiest to write and they need some customer research, but they're not such a huge undertaking as well. So make sure to stay in the sweet spot and you'll be just fine. The third tip I have for you is to use fixed rates. And the reason for this is because this is the most transparent type of pricing. Although a lot of experts say that you should charge based on hourly, and if you work on Upwork, then you know that there's a general hourly rate on your profile as well. But it's actually not a good idea to charge based on hourly rate because it will make your client always think about how much you're actually working on something. So if your hourly rate is $40, for example, then they will always have this calculation going on in their heads that, oh, am I paying too much? Maybe this type of work would only need 2 hours, but you've invested 4 hours into it and they don't understand why do you want to charge them 4 times the hourly rate when they think that that work deserves only 2 hours of work. And the thing is that clients don't know how long these things take, especially at higher levels and especially for more complex type of copy. So for sales pages, for example, for long form sales pages, it actually takes around 10 to 15 hours of just customer research, just mining for reviews, looking at their testimonials, figuring out what their customers are saying and what's the common connection between what they're actually thinking about the product and how the product is actually positioned. So it's hard to pitch this to clients, especially clients who are more likely to employ beginner copywriters because they're not going to understand the value of customer research. Most clients that you meet at first are going to assume that you just whip out your laptop, you do some magic because you're a wordsmith, a ninja, a guru, and you're just going to write something out of the blue. But this is not the case. This is far from the case, actually, especially for copy, which has to perform, like sales pages, landing pages, launch emails, Facebook ads. There's a huge amount of planning that goes under it, and you need to allocate time for yourself for this. But if you charge based on hourly in the beginning, or even later, then it's just not gonna click in your client's head. Now, another type of bad pricing method is per word pricing, and please don't do this. A lot of bottom feeder clients are going to say, I'm going to pay $5 for 1,000 words or something like that. It's not a good idea because you're shooting yourself in the foot. Think about it for a second. You're getting paid to inflate your words, but the thing is that good copy isn't about inflating words. In fact, oftentimes it's about making things shorter, easier to understand, punchier. And if you're in this situation, what do? Do you inflate the copy but make it worse, and then the end result is not going to be so good? Or you write less words, make the copy more concise, which is usually better, but then you're getting paid less. So you're getting paid less to write higher quality copy. It's just not a good idea. And the third common type of pricing strategy is a retainer, which is really good because it gives you predictability in your income, but it's very hard to get a retainer, a good retainer in the beginning or the first time you work with the client, especially if you don't have authority. Even if you have authority, it's kind of hard to get them on a multi-month retainer. So they'll usually ask for some quick project to see how you work together or a quick win. So just don't think about retainers yet. Think about project fees. Now, in order to help you figure out how much your rates should be, I've created a cool list with all the most common types of copy that you'll probably encounter when you're getting started on a place like Upwork or even off that platform. Just keep in mind that these numbers are approximate, and this is what I recommend. It doesn't mean that you should always use these, but try not to go lower than these, because if you go lower than these, then you're going to start attracting bottom feeder clients. And as I mentioned, you don't want this. Also, if you're working in a place like Upwork, then you're going to have to set your hourly rate as well. Now, we just discussed why you shouldn't use hourly rates. So what's up with this? Well, just give an average number here, just so that clients can basically rank you on a scale of freelancers. So what I recommend when you're getting started is to not go lower than $30 an hour. Remember, you're a copywriter, you help clients style stuff, and this is very valuable. So even if you're a beginner, even if you don't have experience, don't go under $30 an hour. Ideally, you can use 40, because trust me when I say that if a job comes up that you think will need 2 hours to complete so that you'll earn $80, that job is going to take you 4 hours. And then good luck going to the client and saying that you just billed them 4 hours for this job because you're a beginner. They're not gonna like it, and they may not even pay you. So, or they're gonna give you a bad review, which is probably even worse if you're just getting started on Upwork. So with that being said, here's the list that I recommend. If you're getting started and you want to write product descriptions, which is a pretty good way to start, you can aim between $30 to $60 per description, up to 300 words. Now, we also discussed that you shouldn't do per word pricing, but it's still good to know approximately how many words the copy will be. And obviously, you're not going to price based on words, but you have to know the ballpark number here. If you're writing web copy, then you can aim for around the $50 per page mark. For short emails, between 20 to 40 based on email length. If you're just writing really, really short transactional emails with a few lines of text, basically like purchase confirmations or something, you can even accept $20. But for anything else, 40 is the number that I do. And for longer emails, you can charge around 40 to 50 bucks if you're getting started. But again, if you have to write sophisticated launch emails, then that is going to be much more expensive, but it needs much more skills and planning for that. So I recommend you try to avoid this at this point. Now for about pages, which I really like, every type of website needs an about page, and most about pages really suck. So if you Google how to write about pages, you're going to find a lot of nice resources on this, and you can leverage this to charge around $50 to $80 for an about page, which is 400 words, let's say. For blog posts, there's a lot of competition here. So blog posts under 500 words, you can charge around 30 bucks. And for blog posts above this, you can charge between 30 to 80. That doesn't mean that all these rates are capped here. A lot of pro blog writers can charge 500 words per post. There are a lot of email copywriters who charge even $1,000 per email for launches. I personally charge around 200, 250 for these types, but these are just the beginning. And what you'll do is that you get started with these rates, but you'll raise your rates by 25, 30% after each 3 consecutive successful projects, at least 25 to 30%, or if you had a few successful clients. So your aim is to get higher and higher, because this will allow you to earn more, but this will also allow you to get higher quality projects, get higher quality clients, get paid more, and it basically creates this cycle, this positive cycle that keeps on getting higher and higher. So this is the way if you want to succeed as a freelance copywriter, and you can certainly do it because you're not bound by any contract, you are not capped basically. The money that you earn is going to be directly proportional to how much you're willing to charge and how much your clients are willing to pay you. And obviously this is dependent on skill and confidence, but just know that you have to start somewhere, and don't start below these numbers. Start with these and then scale up, and you're going to turn yourself into a high paid copywriter faster than you've ever thought. So, hope you enjoyed this. If you're new here, then make sure to subscribe. If you like this video, then obviously like it. And also, leave a comment below. Let me know your situation. Let me know what type of copywriting you do, how much you charge on average, and let's figure out something that can make you more money. Thank you for watching again, and as always, see you in the next one.